r/askreddit by Redify. What's a joke that's so stupid it's funny? This is my stepladder. I never knew my real ladder. Guess what? What? Good guess. My wife walked in on me wanking to an optical illusion. I said, honey, it's not what it looks like. What is green? Fuzzy, and if it fell out of a tree would kill you? Pool table. The other day, my wife asked me to pass her lipstick, but I accidentally passed her a glue stick. She still isn't talking to me. Knock knock. Who's there? Dishes. Dishes who? Dishes scene carnery. Edit. Thanks for the gold. Kind stranger. How do you make a net? You sew a bunch of holes together. What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot. Two fish are sitting in a tank. One fish looks to the other and goes, how do you drive this thing? I bought the world's worst thesaurus last week. Not only is it terrible, but it is terrible. These two guys are out walking through the woods. They come upon a clearing with a big hole in the middle of it. The first guy says to the second, I wonder how deep this hole is. I don't know. Let's find something to toss in here and see if we can hear it hit the bottom, says the second. So they go find a big rock, toss it down the hole. They stand there and listen, but they never hear it hit. So they wander around a bit more and find a great big branch that had fallen off of a tree. They drag it back to the hole and toss it in. They listen, but they never hear it hit. So they decide to go find the biggest thing they can wrestle over to it. They wander around until they find a gigantic log. They drag it through the woods and chuck it in. They stand there and listen, when suddenly this goat comes tearing through the woods and jumps straight into the hole. As they stand there trying to figure out what in the heck just happened, an old man steps into the clearing. Hey, have you fellas seen my goat? Yeah. We just saw him run out of the woods and jump straight into this hole. The old man replies, nah, couldn't have been my goat. My goat was tied to a log. Edit, for wild commas. And holy sknickies. People like my joke. Do you know why when geese fly in a V, one end is longer than the other? There are more geese on that end. How do you think the unthinkable? With an iceberg. Why can't you see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it. Why don't ants get sick? Because they have little antibodies. A bear and a rabbit are taking a hit in the woods. At one point, the bear turns to the rabbit and says, do you ever have problems with it getting stuck in your fur? The rabbit looks at him uncomfortably and says, no. So the bear wipes his ears with the rabbit. I love the joke from the SpongeBob when they found the invisibility spray and scare Bikini Bottom. There's a scene where different people scream ghost, 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 toast. But in Germany it's so hilarious because it's so dumb in comparison with the English dialogue. They scream Giester, 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 Weisbrot. Because toast in correct German means white bread and it doesn't fit in at all. But damn, this was funny as hell. Edit, change Giest to make it right. What do you call a Mexican with a rubber toe? Roberto. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Because 7 is a registered 6 offender. Man walks into a bar and pauses at the other end of the bar. There's this guy with a big orange head, just kind of sitting there, mooning into his drink. So the man asks the bartender, say, what's up with the guy with the big orange head? And the bartender says, it's an interesting story. Buy him a drink and maybe he'll tell it to you. So the man walks over and introduces himself and offers to buy a round. The guy with the big orange head says, yeah, I'll bet you want to know the story. Huh. To which the man replies, sure, if you don't mind. The man with the big orange head sighs and says, you know, I've gone over it in my mind a million times. Basically, it's like this. I was walking along the beach one day when I stubbed my toe on something. I looked down and there was an antique brass lamp. I picked it up and dusted it off a little when all of a sudden this enormous genie pops out. The genie thundered, you have released me from my 10,000-year imprisonment. And I'm in your debt. I will grant you 3 wishes as a token of my gratitude. The man at the bar is agape. The guy with the big orange head continues, so I said, wow. Okay. Well. My first wish is to be fantastically wealthy. The genie says. Your wish is granted. And all of a sudden I have rings on my fingers and a crown on my head. And my wallet is full of money and a dozen ATM cards and a deed to a mansion in the hills. I was loaded. So I said. Amazing. Okay. For my next wish. I want to be married to the most beautiful woman in the world. The genie says. Your wish is granted. And the ocean parts. And out walks this gorgeous woman in this beautiful dress. And she takes my hand and we fall in love. And the genie marries us right there. It was incredible. The genie booms. You have one wish remaining. The man with the big orange head pauses and sips his ear. He says. Now, you know. This may be where I went wrong. I wished for a big orange head. 3 guys find out that they have 3 weeks to live. They realize that they have nothing to show for in their lives. So they each decide to try getting into the Guinness Book of World Records. The first guy says. I have pretty long arms. Maybe I have the longest arms in the world. The second guy says. I have a big chest. Maybe I have the biggest chest in the world. The third guy says. I have a small peen. Maybe I have the smallest peen in the world. So they each submit their applications to the Guinness Book of World Records headquarters. A week later. The book is published. And they all gather around to see the results. The first guy opens the book and says. Hey look. I have the longest arms in the world. The second guy looks and says wow. I can't believe I have the biggest chest in the world. And the third guy looks and says who the duck is /you/SummerSlam now? Replace Op's name with someone's name and tell to a group. Profit. 1. I know a good knock knock joke, but you need to start it. 2. Okay. Knock knock. 1. Who's there? My girlfriend is always yelling at me because I get my directions mixed up. So I pack my bags and right left away. What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. Why did the boy fall off of his bike? Because someone threw a fridge at him. Why did the koala fall out of the tree? Because it was dead. Why did the second koala fall out of the tree? It got hit by the first koala. Why did the third koala fall out of the tree? Peer pressure. Why did the fourth koala fall out of the tree? Someone threw a fridge at it. Why did the fifth koala fall out of the tree? Thought it was a game and wanted to join in. Why did the man die? Because he was hit by 5 koalas and a fridge. What did the buffalo say to his son when he left for college? Bison. That always gets me. There are 2 muffins baking in an oven. The first muffin says, man, it sure is hot in here. The second muffin says, holy hit. A talking muffin. What do you call a cow with 2 legs? Lean beef. What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. What do you call a dog with no legs? Call him whatever you want. He's not coming. Knock. Knock. Who's there? Very long pause. Java. What's red or smells like blue paint? Red paint. I went to a zoo, but there was only 1 dog in it. It was a Shih Tzu. What do you call a fish with no eyes? FSH. What's brown and rhymes with Snoop? Dr. Dre. Say what you want about deaf people. Want to hear a knock knock joke? 2 men walk into a bar. How is a bicycle similar to a duck? They both have handlebars. Except for the duck. A guy goes to a bar and the bartender asks, what can I get you? The patron responds, just a fruit punch for me. I'm driving. The bartender says, great. But you have to get in line. The patron stops and looks around only to reply, I don't see a punk line. What do Winnie the Pooh and Alexander the Great have in common? Same middle name. A polar bear walks into a bar and says, I'll have a rear. Bartender says, what's with the big paws? Polar bear replies, I don't know. I was born with them. Edit. I admit that I could have told this much better, but it's my highest rated comment. I'm taking it and running. What's brown and sticky? A stick. A blind man walks into a bar. Then a table, a chair and a woman. Why do women wear makeup and perfume? They're ugly and they smell. 7-year-old me loved this one. Two cannibals sit around a campfire. One says, man, I hate my mother-in-law. The other one says, well then try the potatoes. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. What do you call a deer with no eyes and no legs? Still no idea. Why can't the T-Rex clap? Because it's dead. A Mexican magician tells his audience he will disappear on 3. So he says, you know, dos, poof. He disappeared without a trace. How do you get 100 Canadians out of a pool? Say, would everyone please get out of the pool? Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.